So the second Left Cross album is called Upon Desecrated Altars, and it will be coming out through Profound Lore Records on November 10th. Wes, can you tell me a little bit about this album and what your thoughts were when you started working on it?
Yeah. So after the last tape we did, so between the first record we did and this one, there were two tapes that came out. One was just like a proper EP, and then one was a promo for a really short tour we did with Cerebral Rot. And we just kind of knew we wanted to write another record, and we were like, all right, let's do this. And so that was sort of like the catalyst, was everyone be like, yeah, like it's time that we actually put something, full length material out. So after that kind of decision was like made and agreed upon, we just kind of got to work on it. And I think we wrote the better part of it in about a year. I think we started on it before that promo tape came out. And yes, I don't know if that completely answers the question.
Sure. I mean, we spoke a little bit about the other influences that are seeping into your sound and the way your sound has evolved. Coming off of that promo tape, was it a conscious decision to, I don't know if you want to use the word evolve or progress, but was it a conscious decision to move your sound forward?
Yeah. I think throughout the course of writing it, yeah. I don't think at the onset it was like, oh, let's do, but all this different stuff. But when, the record's out and people hear it, I do think they will hear, like, I don't know if the experimentation is the right word, but just like kind of stuff we've never done before. And I think that just kind of happened as we were writing it. I think, just like the excitement of writing a new record, you're like, oh, let's do something new,
Yeah. When did you realize that the material was shaping up the way it did?
You mean like the way it sounds?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess while we were writing it, I don't know if that's the best answer, but I guess like, kind of like as a musician, evolution's kind of natural, whether you want it or not. You're gonna eventually branch out into other things. So I think it just kind of happened just kind of effortlessly. I don't think there was this like, there was never a conversation like that's to like the old stuff or something. Let's push it into this like realm of, again, experimentation. It was more just like, let's write the best music we can write right now. And then, the rest, get it out.
And to be fair, it's not like you guys are using electronic beats or anything like that. Like it's still pretty much rooted in the sound that you guys started off with, just more evolved, maybe a little bit more technical. Definitely, I think more intense in some places.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, especially the intensity and the technicality of it. We were trying to push like what we can play, like as far as like, well, I wouldn't say what we could play, but what we do play. And yeah, there was definitely, I think just a unspoken attitude, mood of like, let's get a little more crazy, a little more intense with the songwriting as well too.
Where did you end up recording the album?
We recorded it at Viva Studios, which is about an hour and a half north of where we are. It was a really great experience. I think we recorded it in a weekend. I think it was only really 2 days of actual recording, maybe 2.5. But yeah, we just got it done in a weekend. Everything except the vocals. Yeah, the guy that we recorded with is great. I'd recommend that studio to anybody. It was a great experience.
Do you want to say anything about Matthew Mitchell, who you recorded with?
Yeah, he's great. We didn't really know him super well, really at all, before we had decided to record there. But we heard a demo that he did by a band called Deliriant Nerve, and we were like, whoa, this sounds really cool. And up until then, we had actually recorded everything in the band's history with just one guy. And he wasn't really available. So we hit up Matt and was like, hey, would you be down? He said, yeah. And he was just absolutely great. Like he allowed us to kind of try out things, but he always kind of seemed to know exactly what we were going for, if that makes sense. Like it was just super, I don't know, just a great experience. Nice guy too.
You mentioned you recorded in about 2 days. Did you guys track together?
No, it was drums, bass, guitar.
So you guys just recorded really fast.
Yeah.
It sounds like there weren't a lot of takes.
Maybe in some parts, but no, I mean, I think we've always recorded fast. I think we're kind of guilty of, you know, being like, let's book 4 days, and then we're, I think, always like, we can do it in two. And maybe that's not the greatest way to go about things, but that's just kind of always how we've been.
It also sounds like you guys were probably well rehearsed going into the studio.
Yeah, we had played all but two of the songs live a few times before we actually got there. The first and last track of the record were written like a week or two before we recorded it, but the rest of it we were like super well versed on.
Do you want to say anything about the first song?
As in like music, lyrics.
Either. I mean, it's like an ambient track. It's like an intro to the rest of the album.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, when I say first song, I meant the first actual song.
Right, right,
the
right.
the intro was done probably like a few months before we got in the studio. But if anyone's interested, it is a Crusader song, so it's in Latin. Something that I found just kind of like browsing around, and then our guitarist Dylan kind of created all the sounds and stuff that go around it. So that's what that is.
Okay. Why did you want to start the album with that?
Well, we had never really done an intro to anything we recorded that I can remember at this moment. But yeah, it kind of goes in with like the theme of the record, which is like kind of like a satanic crusade, like, hell's armies, marching on, whatever. It's kind of what the art was supposed to be about. It's kind of just like a made up scenario in my head, but that's the specific reason the intro is the way it is to kind of set the mood for like that kind of mental picture. So yeah,
You work on the themes and the lyrics by yourself, or does everyone?
I do. Yeah, they're somehow comfortable with me doing all of that, and I haven't gotten too many complaints yet. So